Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 29 of 10HrHour. This week we played Dungeon Golf, developed and published by Ant Workshop, launched on November 17th, 2023. Don't know what that was, Chase, but find out when you watch the live recording back on YouTube next Monday. Um, Dungeon Golf. I am here with Chaser.
Hi, how you doing? Do it again.
Wow. He's got a B on his hat for bully this week.
Yeah.
Squid, hello.
Hi,
She doesn't have a hat to do
I'm
that, so
feeling excluded.
where's your
Just flick your
hat?
forehead.
Just flick your forehead. What the heck?
Dungeon Golf. Initial thoughts. Squid, go.
My initial thoughts were back on the demo that we played. Different kind of golf game. There's a lot of golf games out there that you can play with your friends and frustrate them. But this one adds PvE as well, so I thought it was pretty cool.
I just saw.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Pommel Party meets Golf with Your Friends. That was kind of the comparisons that I got from it from the first match that we played. The first one we did was just the three of us. Later adding in Zach, who's not feeling well. Hope you feel better.
Feel better, buddy.
But yeah, no. So the playing it that first match, it definitely reminded me of the games of Pummel Party that we had. Obviously, there's a lot fewer people in this game as opposed to Pummel Party. You can play up to 4 people in Dungeon Golf. But yeah, no, it was a good mix. And even when we were screwing each other over by playing with our power ups that we had, because we did, it didn't. It was more in fun than it was to anger each other. So it was a good time.
Good. Yeah, like Squid said, her and I played this last year, I think, during an X Fest. What was that?
My nose was running, dude, and I needed to get rid of it.
Squid's gonna have fun editing this episode.
I'm sorry, Squid. Anyway, I muted so that it didn't come through. That was the big thing.
Without audio, you were just like,
yeah, I did it in big extravagant face because I wanted to try to get you to break, and it worked. So here we go.
Yeah, like Squid said, we played this Next Fest last year, and I like mini golf games, party games with friends, and everything. And we tried it, and it was fun. It definitely had its issues back then, but it was fun. I will say a lot of the weird stuff we had was fixed by the time the game came out when we played it over the last 2 weeks. There were definitely broken things in the game, but I feel like they were intended, and I feel like there are sponsorships to mitigate some of the broken things. So in this game, you choose your character. Every character has 2 abilities. A lot of the abilities were different versions of the same thing. And there were 8 characters, basically mix and match abilities in a way. There were only a few that had truly unique abilities, I think. Do you want to go into characters next, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
The broken character first. Let's go with the broken character
You want to start with that one?
Yes.
Okay. So, broken characters. There was 8 characters, one of which I believe Squid liked this one the best. His name was Sir Joffrey. You want to describe Sir Joffrey, Squid?
Sir Joffrey is the goodest boy. He's a royal horse, and he rides another horse, like one of those like hop along horses that kids have. He's got 2 abilities, and they're perfectly balanced. And he was unfairly banned after just 1 game.
I don't think unfairly is an accurate description.
So his abilities, everybody has 2. His first ability is Hooves of Thunder. Kick all players and monsters in a cone with a thunderous boom, dealing damage and knockback. So the way this game works is if an enemy hits you, it's +1 to your stroke count. And if you hit an enemy, then it's -1 to your stroke count. So you try to basically, instead of get a hole in one, you want a hole in none, is the goal of this game. So this ability, like it sounds, it gives you a cone. She tries to hit any enemies or player enemies in the cone, and that's -1 for her. And everything she hits gets +1. So you can definitely screw over your friends. There's chests you can open around the maps, and they give mana. You can time your shots for a perfect shot that also gives mana. When you destroy enemies, that gives mana. And every ability obviously costs mana. The super, which costs all of your mana, is called Sugar Rush. Charge forward in a straight line, dealing damage and knockback to all players and monsters in your path until you hit scenery. Your ball teleports to the end location until you hit scenery.
That's the key
So
here.
we ran into this really big ramp that Zach, using the strongest character in the game, he could barely get across. Basically, he rolled through the next obstacle and he fell off. Well, Squid just, what'd you do, Squid?
I used my perfectly balanced ability and hit one button and ran across like 2 different ramps worth of space.
Just
Floated in
ran
the air, mind
like
you.
Butt Stallion in Borderlands, just fucking magical Sir Joffrey riding a stick horse, just doot 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 doot. It's a horse sound, and it was fine. Great shot.
And then she hit the wall where Zach's ball fell off, and it stopped and dropped her ball there.
Oh, and did I
Then
mention?
she got to take a shot after that
Yeah,
too.
abilities don't count for a stroke. Apparently, we're still really salty about this. Squid, you wanna say anything? Defend your case.
I think you should be more salty about the other one that I did. Because on this one, I at least missed some shots on my own because there was another ramp to go up after. But on the other one, we were on like a level, like the hardest level of maps. And it was just a straight shot, but there were like a whole bunch of swinging pendulums and everything. And that's the one that I was able to run completely across and then hit the wall and perfectly bounce in.
Yeah, that
I
one
think
was
that's
after
the
that
one you
though,
guys
right?
should be salty about.
That one was
Does-
after though, right?
I think that one was first. My only defense on that one is I think if I had hit any of those pendulums, I would have stopped. So I do think I actually had to time that one right.
I don't think obstacles for text count as environment scenery. Yeah, so I think you were fine. You can go through all of them.
I was not the first person to use this character. Zach used this character before me.
Zach, do you have anything to say? I think the text is different for scenery because Chase was the wizard your favorite? Is that fair to say?
Nope.
No. Okay. Oh, not wizard. Sorry, the magical dude, the shadow.
Yeah, the shadow.
Um, the shadow is a rogue, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
The ability is Shadow Step. Teleport through the shadows to a nearby location. You become harder to see until your next turn, so monsters won't attack you unless you're much closer. Much closer is like you're touching them.
It's pretty much half of, so each of the monsters has a big circle. You can actually check what the danger zone is, what they called it. The danger zone is. But you can check where the danger zone is, and when you use that ability, it cuts that. I would say it was at least half, if not like 2/3 down. So it was like a third of the normal size. The one caveat to that, though, is when you use that shadow step, you can't go around scenery or anything at all. So I had to go you could go in a area that was open that you could see from where you were. But if there was a pillar between you and the other area, you could not use said ability. You had to use it in an area where you could visibly see it from where your ball was.
You had to have a line of sight.
Yep.
Which it doesn't say it, but. And the super for that one was Whirl of Blades. Throw hidden blades at all players and monsters in range, dealing damage and knockback to each one.
Really,
I feel like,
really good when you're up close to the hole and everybody's there and you're for going first and you're able to knock them and get a penalty to each of them as well as killing a monster or two. It's great.
Yeah. We'll go through the other characters. This one was Zach's favorite. This person's name was Astrid Yeet Bowler. Basically, it was a barbarian. She would just smash, super strong. Her ability was Battle Rage. Smash your ball wildly with full power instead of taking a shot. You gain immunity to all shot penalties until the end of your turn. So,
you still
if you're the
take
first
shot,
one,
but...
yeah, you don't get penalties. So if you fly off, it's fine, but you still get a stroke. So if you just want to wail on the ball and hope you hit an enemy way down the course, that's the ability to use. And then the super was Furious Leap. Leap towards target players. That word, that is written weird. Leap towards target players or monsters, dealing damage and knockback. Your ball teleports to the target location. I feel like that jump was huge. You couldn't go super far, but it knocked everything out of the way.
Yeah.
Did you guys play Hurdle? I don't think I did.
I did not. Squid did. Squid didn't like it.
Yeah, I did once or twice. I did not like hers.
There was another dude by the name of Vigo Gravemort. His description: when I say that Vigo is a bad player, I don't mean he hasn't got golf skills. I mean he's evil in that kind of knowledgeable, well-spoken way that's extra scary, like a school headmaster. I liked his design a lot. But his abilities I didn't find super worth it, honestly.
I think they were very situational.
Yeah.
He's the one that had the archer, right? The skeletal archer as his super.
Yeah. So the ability was...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. The ability was create a blast of spectral energy, knocking back all players and monsters, like we've heard of already a few times. And the super he's referring to is Skeletal Archer. Summon a Skeletal Archer that attacks all nearby players and monsters, including you. But that guy stays on the field, which is interesting.
Go ahead, Squid.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you hit him, you got the -1, right?
Correct. Which is where I was going with it, because we were playing one of them and I was using him. Panda, you were up a stroke going into the last hole, and I used the skeletal archer to hit you, and then I was also able to get a -1 because of the positioning of where he was, and I was able to get a hole in one, and then you needed to get your next shot in, and you couldn't because you were out of position to make a shot onto the hole, and it made it so I was able to win that entire round of 6 holes. So it's like I said, it's very situational, but yes, you can. It does give the -1 if you hit it, but it also gives a -1 if it hits monsters as well. So it again, situational, but I felt like it was pretty good.
I feel like he would be really good if you had certain sponsorships that we didn't unlock yet. I feel like a lot of these characters would play very different if you had different sponsors.
We did only have a handful of sponsors, so that might play a factor as well. Yeah, you're right.
I was going to mention this later, but since we're talking about sponsors now, it takes too long to unlock sponsors. We played for 10, 12 hours, something like that, and there's still, I would say, at least half. And looking at the achievements, there's some that are locked behind get 5 of this type. Well, to get one of those 5 is get 500 perfect shots. That's a lot of shots. Or get 100 whatever. Destroy 50 blocks of scenery. Like, it is not quick. And for a party game that's meant to be, at least I think, picked up, play with some friends for an hour and call it quits for 6 months, I think it's great at that. But I just feel like some of the achievements are just too long, personally.
I think another one was like collect 500 mana or something like that. It was some crazy number. Yeah,
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it's not 500 perfect shots, but like, it's a
But
lot.
same spectrum on it. It's all of the same idea. So yeah,
They did change a lot, and some of the ones we didn't unlock were, there was one that I saw that was do 5 of this type, and then you unlock like the last sponsor for it, and it was you can jump the ball once per hole. So like golf it or golf with your friends, whichever one. You could just jump over obstacles theoretically, or gaps or whatever. Like, that changes the game completely if you choose that.
right.
Another character, the undead influencer, he was like the most balanced, I guess I would say.
Remember,
Um, Jimmy Fibula. He was cool. His golf club, he just bent his leg sideways and hit the ball with it. Cool design. I like him.
Did you guys ever play Medieval on PlayStation 1?
nope.
I always wanted to.
Oh,
It was on the
wait.
back of one of my games, and I never got to play it.
I've played a demo of it, so yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he takes off his arm and uses it as a club, and this gives me the same feeling because he just takes off his leg and uses it as a club. Different kind of club though.
Or is it? His ability was Lob Leg. Throw your leg, hitting all players and monsters in a straight line, dealing damage and knockback to any hits. He literally just yeets his leg. I feel like the range was pretty far on that too,
Wasn't
but
terrible.
it was a straight line.
Yeah.
And then his super was Skullduggery. Throw your head and teleport to the target location, knocking back nearby players and monsters. I feel like you used this a few times really well. You just threw your noggin across obstacles, and then you had a free shot for a hole in one or something. He was fun to use.
Yeah. The only thing you couldn't do was toss the head onto the hole. So like you had to put it next to the hole, so you couldn't get a freebie that way. Again, very situational. Got to put yourself in a position to be able to use it. The throw is not that far. It's far enough where you can, if you're kind of close, you can get close enough to make it so it's a tap in basically. But yeah.
I feel like Squid used this one the most. There was a wizard. His name was Young Felix. Um, the ability was temporal force. Pull all players and monsters towards the center of the target area and potentially beyond. So if you position that right, you could essentially suck everybody up into a black hole and yeet them all off the edge. The range was pretty big on that too. And then the super was, I think, the most situational out of any of the characters, personally. It was called Quantum Conundrum. Twist time into chaos and randomly swap the positions of all nearby players and monsters.
His was just fun. I always wanted to use the first ability really well, and I think I only ended up using it once. Because you really had to be set up for that one to be like super usable. Um, but I found myself just using his last ability uh, just because it was funny. The only time it would ever really be that useful to use was when you were in the worst spot of anyone around.
And you actually had that happen one time on one of the holes where you were in a terrible position and Panda got screwed over hard by it.
I was gonna win that entire game, and then she did that, and I couldn't win after that. She put me in such a bad spot.
It's the most chance to fuck over all of your friends at once, ability wise, I feel like.
But it also moves monsters too. Any monsters or players that are in the range of that ultimate super, whatever you want to call it, um, it transports all of them into different positions. So it was interesting. That in that instance, I think it put Panda in a spot where he could get two monsters, but he was only able to reach one with the first shot, and then he got hit by the other one and put back down into the hole. I think that look was thanks, Squid.
That look was thanks, Squid.
You're welcome.
The second to last character, her name was Sandy Bunker. She was just a person,
A
just
pro
just
golf player.
just a pro golfer. Her ability was Pro Focus. Focus your golfing intuition and gain a guideline, showing your next shot's trajectory and temporarily increasing your aftertouch strength. Aftertouch, if you ever played Burnout Revenge on the crash courses, it's literally the same thing. After you hit the ball, you can kind of change the direction it rolls a little bit. Or the old PGA games, same type
I
of
was
thing.
just about to say that. It's actually in the newer one, the PGA one by EA. They actually
Oh,
have the
really?
same. They actually have the aftertouch in that one too. I think it was an EA type deal mostly.
Oh, okay. This ability was very, very broken in the essence of it needs work. I feel like she's going to be very viable once they fix it, but it was just very buggy. I would have to use, I think I'm the only one that tried her. I would have to use tab to look at the map and then kind of judge my lines based off of that. It does show trajectory kind of like Peggle does. It'll show like the next bounce or two, but it just isn't, it doesn't work well. It could have been a server was laggy or something. I'm not sure. I only tried it once. Um, but her super was chip shot. Chip your ball and teleport to the target location, knocking back nearby players and monsters. I feel like that was very far. I used it once or twice, and that
Yeah,
seemed very far.
but that would make sense for a professional golfer to have that ability
Hmm.
to be having like a distance on it. So it made sense.
And the last character I saved, my favorite for last, his name was Jojo Croaker. He was a frog. Um,
Ribbit.
yeah, he was cool. Um, he had an ability called Tongue Lash. Shoot your tongue in a straight line, hitting scenery or a player or a monster, dealing damage and knockback. Your ball teleports to the target's location. That ability was very good to set up for your first stroke. If there were a few obstacles at the start or a monster, you just get a free -1 or just a free good location to shoot from. Chase and I had one game that we were -7 and -6, and the only reason I won is because I used that ability.
Yep.
It was such a close game. And then the super was Power Croak. Let out a melodic croak, knocking back all nearby players and monsters. Anyone hit has their power and accuracy significantly reduced for their next turn.
Halved.
So it was the ability that everybody has, but really good.
It was pretty broken. In a
Yeah.
not in a bad way, not in a Sir Joffrey way, but it was broken. Go ahead.
I just happened to picture Joffrey on the one course that it would have been really useful for. Zach confirms he used Sir Joffrey, but he used it on a course where they weren't straight lines. The
Mm-hmm.
one we played happened to be a lot of straight lines.
I do think as well, a lot of these characters are based off of playstyles. Squid played Zach's favorite, and she hated her. Um, Zach played Squid's horse, and Zach didn't like it at all. And then Squid just completely broke it. I tried Chase's Rogue Ninja, and I didn't really like it. Um, and I think we all tried the frog at first, actually. Did you guys like the frog at all?
Frog was pretty good.
I think he's probably like the most balanced, easy to pick up. Um, but his ability is just a slightly worse version of Sir Joffrey's. I feel like it's more controllable, but it stops when you hit something versus stopping when you hit scenery.
Well, the tongue lash was a pretty short range, honestly. It
Yeah.
wasn't forever.
That's what I'm saying. It stops when you hit something versus stopping just when you hit scenery.
One thing I forgot about the shadow, um, that shadow step. I used it one time, and I used it really, really well one time. We had we were teeing off on a hole, and right off the box there was a drop off, and I was able to shadow step onto the ramp, and it ramped me down, and I was able to get a hole in one because of that, because it ramped me down into a position to take a shot.
Yeah, that was really good use of it.
The only thing I ended up using Shadow Step for when I was playing that character was just to reposition myself. I never actually used it for the invisibility.
Same. The invisibility was good though, because like I said, it made it so that if I was going to be close to any of the monsters, it would mitigate damage. So yeah.
I feel like with a lot of these characters, you could find out what's really good or what's like not great by trying one of the different modes. There's 4 different modes to this game. There's free play, where you can change essentially all of the rules, um, and it's just practice mode basically. There was online, which is what we were all doing, obviously. You can do public or private lobbies with up to 3 friends, 4 people total, or you could essentially just do PvP with randoms online. Um, Servers seemed okay once you got in, but we had a lot of issues getting into the games the very first times we would like try to load into one. And then when the 3 of us would play and we added Zach on the second game, we would all have to restart. It seemed like if you had a lobby and then you wanted to add or subtract a player, everybody would have to restart their game. Other than that, though, I think everything ran fine once we got into like onto a course.
Yep.
Chase, you played cups, right? The cup
Yeah.
mode.
Yep.
Is that just like Mario Kart Cups? Basically, you play the normal rule set, start a hole, and then a AI fills, and that's it.
Pretty much. Um, the one I did the easiest one, the first one that the 3 of us did,
Mhm.
that 6-hole course that we did. And I shot 9 under in it, and I was like, oh, this is really easy. So I was like, well, let's do one of the other ones. And I was quickly shown why the AI was better in the other ones. And I said, okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't just because I'm glad it was just because it was an easy course and it was one that I had already done, and it was not because I'm just that much better than the AI. But
That's good.
yeah, but the cups basically, it just seemed like you were playing against the AI, and you were basically doing a challenge mode where you had to get certain score. That first one you had to shoot better than 4 under, and I shot 9 under.
Oh, that's cool.
And you get the gold by doing that. You get silver by trying to reach another goal, and you get bronze by reaching a different goal on that. So it's mostly just same 6 holes against AI. You're just basically trying to beat a number. Time trials, kind of a little bit.
Okay. That's similar to the Golf Quest, then. That is a single player only mode. The description was try to get a hole in none or one. A great place to learn the basics of dungeon golf or hone your skills. So that one, you basically had to get a hole in one or none, every single one, to get gold. A few of the longer holes were exceptions, but there's 3. Oh, I didn't even realize that. So there's 4 different areas in this game. Each level in the areas there was 3, and it's 6. So it's a full 18-hole course.
Mm.
I just realized that. Well played, developers.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, did you guys try Golf Quest at all? I did. I played maybe 3 holes. It just turned into a straight puzzle game, and I wasn't loving it personally. It was okay, but they would give you set character, and you couldn't change anything, and it was figure it out, which it was okay.
I only played with you guys.
SMH Squid. SMH. Um, we'll get into the courses then, I guess. There are 4 courses with. Huh? You mouthed
I
something.
said, "Oh, I heard horses,"
Yeah,
but you
you would.
said courses.
We're not talking about Joffrey.
You would hear horses.
Sir Joffrey.
Sir Banfree.
Yep.
There's 4 courses. The first one, which was the easiest one, was called Mountain Fortress. There were dragon dudes. The aesthetics was just kind of basic dungeon. The difficulties ranged from 1 to 3 skulls, 5 being the highest in the game. So it had the easiest holes in the game. I liked it. It was a good first intro to the game. Nothing was too hard. Taught you abilities. Mana was pretty easy to come by, and it's cool. This game's fun. Let's fuck with friends. Like it was fun. Did you guys like the first area?
Yeah.
I think
Like
the
you s-
first area was my favorite theming of any of the areas.
it seemed like you were in a dungeon. Hence the name.
Playing golf.
It's like when you play Dungeons and Dragons and walk up to your first dungeon and there's a dragon. It's wild.
Yep.
The next one was Volcanic Forge. Lots of fire hazards, lots of like machine obstacles. The difficulty ranged from 2.5 to 4.5, so it got
More difficult.
difficult quickly. um, that one was cool. You felt like you were saving a princess from a dragon, like in Shrike. It was very dungeon fire everywhere. I feel like that one had a lot of fire hazards. You could just jump off the edge.
Yeah. Also had the hazards where you had the buckets that had the lava in it that would knock your ball off the ledge.
Those were
That
annoying.
we had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah. The third one was Ancient Temple. This one had a lot of Skelly-mans and a lot of teleporters, or what my notes say. The difficulty ranged from 3 to 5, so it was the hardest course in the game.
We did play that hardest one, right? That the
We
5
did,
skull.
yeah, with Zach.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't think it was that much harder than 3, 4, 5. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like some of the 3-star difficulties had one hole of 6 that were extremely hard. Like even though it was only a 3-star, I didn't think any of the 5-star course was insanely hard. It just seemed a little bit longer.
Longer, more obstacles. It felt
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, Zach just said in chat the max difficulty course had one of the easiest last holes. It was basically just like a straight shot, wasn't it?
I think so.
Or it would go around and then I had the teleporter, I think, that would just drop in. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And the last one was Undead Lair. It had 2 to 4 skull difficulties, swampy, lots of obstacles, super easy to fall / get knocked off by saws. Lots and lots of saws, and I kept getting screwed over by them.
You both did. Actually, no. Squid did not get screwed over by the saws. That's right. She almost did.
No, I did once because I
That's right.
thought I got away free, and then I didn't.
And then it launched you.
This is where Chase playing the rogue that just go invisible and dodge obstacles was really clutch on this course.
Yep.
What was your least favorite and favorite, I guess, Squid, of the like courses? A theming or playstyle or whatever.
I don't actually remember them that much because I changed characters for each one, so they felt like very different. So like the ones that I had the least fun with were the ones I was playing characters that I hated the most. Kind of thing. I really liked the theming in the first area. I thought it was a good mix of like standard uh, dungeon fantasy. I liked the gelatinous cubes and stuff, but I didn't like the slime on the ground. So I guess any of them that had like the slime, I was not a big fan of.
So the swampy area she did not like.
I'll go next then. The swampy area was actually my favorite. It was sorry. It was gelatinous cubes were the monster types. It was cool. I didn't play a character with super high power, and the slime actually sped up your shots. So it was characters like Chase's Rogue really shined here because they don't have a ton of power.
But they have a lot of accuracy, and if you're using the correct sponsor, you have a lot of aftertouch, which is exactly
Yeah.
how I played my character a lot of the time. So
Yeah. I don't think I really had a least favorite. I had least favorite characters, but I think they were all good designs. Nothing was super annoying other than the normal frustration of mini golf with your friends. Honestly, I don't think any level design was bad. I think there were a few weird wall bounces that didn't work the way we thought they would. But I don't know if that's because we were trying to compare it to other type of mini golf games or what.
the one thing I will say is that if you got tucked up against like one of the pots, you would
Yeah,
never be able to move off the pot until
unless you use an ability.
once you broke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Or
broke pretty easy, but if you, like you said, rolled behind one, it was over.
you just automatically lose a stroke because of it, unless you have a way to teleport away from it. So,
What was your favorite course, Chase?
it's a toss up between the slime and the first area. I think those are both really, really good. I did not like the volcanic area. Way too many obstacles, and it felt like honestly that was the most difficult area. I didn't really feel like the area, the like the hardest course that we played on was
Mhm.
really that difficult. In comparison, I would say that the volcano one was way more difficult. So I'd say that's probably my least favorite. Just too many obstacles and just weird bounces that didn't really go in anybody's favor except for Sir Joffrey's.
I wonder. I almost wish the very first time you played, it would just put you on the first like course, the first six, and then after that, there was no difficulty ratings because we did the 5-star expecting crazy. It's gonna be so hard, and like Zach said, it had one of the easiest last holes in the game that we played. And I don't know, it was kind of disappointing having it not be insane. Whereas if we were just playing an ancient temple level, it would have been cool. Um, and 3 stars were harder than 5 sometimes. Like I just don't think it needed difficulty levels personally.
Just give us a career mode where we just play from the first course all the way through, and that's fine, I think.
And give us an option to do the Mountain Fortress full 18. Give us an option to do 3 back to back to back.
Yep.
With like a break between the 6 or something. That way, all the scores kept, and you have a full 16 hole like course. It would take 2-3 hours depending, but usually these type of games, everybody gets burnt out in 2 or 3 hours anyways.
Yep.
So you're gonna have one person pissed that they're still playing on hole 10. You're gonna have one person having a fantastic time. You're gonna have 2 people trying to just do something. I think it would be fun as an option.
Or you're going to have one person pissed at after hole 10, and then they're going to be coming back at the end of the game, and then they're enjoying themselves because of the way that the game is kind of, made up. You could get very lucky, and some of these bounces go your way.
There was one hole that, or one course, I guess, that I had -4 and Squid had +1. Starting hole 5, I ended up getting, I think, +1 after those 2 holes, and Squid beat me. She was -4 or something, -5, something ridiculous because she had 2 hole-in-ones right in hole 5 and 6, and she won.
Yep.
That was actually like that specific scenario because we were playing a game before that and I was very eepy and falling asleep and just upset that I was still playing. Like I was enjoying it, but I was just like, fuck, I want to go to sleep. Like I don't want to be doing this. I was not having a good time. And then Zach hopped on and we were like, we're gonna do one more. And you guys were like, let's pick the hardest one. And I was like, God damn it. But I swapped up what character I was playing, and then I had a really good time. So
I feel like if it was a full 18-hole course, you could be plus 15 and come back in the back nine and win or be really close to it.
All it
Other
really,
golf games,
I say all it
huh?
really takes is a couple of hole in ones that you take
Mhm.
out a couple monsters, and all of a sudden you're back in it. And that's kind of part of the way that we were playing, as well as we were moving the scoreboard. We changed the rule set to make it so that the scoreboard dictated the turns. Whoever had the
Mhm.
highest score was going first. Second highest was second down the line. I think that also played a factor rather than just doing it from whoever was furthest away. I think that
Mhm.
that played a big factor in the enjoyability of it.
Yeah, because default's furthest away, and the first night Zach didn't go for like 7 swings because he was closest. Because he
Next
would
to the
pick the
hole.
character. Well, he would pick the character that had the longest, like biggest power,
Yep.
and we were all picking lighter characters, so we were playing way more than him. So we did swap it up, and I think, like you said, that made it much more enjoyable because if you're super close to the hole and you don't get to go for 8 turns, basically, there's no enemies left for you to get. You're stuck. Whereas this way, because you were the closest, you could try to get an enemy out of the way so nobody else could get it, and then go in the hole. So it's the same as if you just shot it in the hole because you got a -1 against the enemy. So there's a lot of ways to screw over your friends. Um, we mentioned sponsors a few times now. Sponsors are basically just passive abilities that you can have. You unlock just by playing mainly. Some you have to play a lot, but it's just by playing. My favorites, because I did pick the frog the most. One was called Conch Buster. It had bigger knockback, and it was like 50% or more bigger radius. It was huge. And then the last few ones I really liked were Power Horn Super Shake, it was called. Your very first shot is increased power and accuracy for each hole. So even though I was only a 3 power, I could match Zach's power using the strongest character in the game with my frog. Um, so it's you could use it guaranteed 6 times, whereas not every sponsor you could use all the time. Some of them are very situational. Squid, what did you use?
um so I would either pick whatever sponsor up to the stat that my character was low on, or near the end I was just constantly picking crystal balls. Crystal balls was really good. That's the one that lets you have way more control over your aftershot. And that's how I was just, I mean, it gets kind of ridiculous where you can just kind of steer the ball completely.
Especially when you have 5 accuracy and 1 power like the rogue. That was the one that I used all the time when I was playing my favorite character, and I hit some crazy shots with it. I was able to take out enemies and then still put the ball in the hole, even though it didn't really seem like that was a possibility because of crystal balls. So definitely my favorite sponsor by far.
I do want to try a lot of the other ones, but I don't want to play that much to unlock them. It's just a lot. If there's, I feel like if you're doing private lobby with friends, you could just turn on a setting and it's all sponsors unlocked. Like that would be cool. But if you want to do it online or in public lobbies or something, you still have to unlock them. I think that would be fine. Um, but yeah, that's dungeon golf. I think. Am I missing anything? Anything else you guys want to talk about or anything?
The camera angles could use some work. That was my main annoyance with the game, was just some of the camera angles were real shoddy. And they're working on this game a lot still, it seems like. I think it'd be cool if we got, future updates for like course editors for people to be able to put out, or new characters, new sponsors. I'd pay DLC money for that. So, uh, jankiness wise, just the camera angles I think could use some work. The rest of it I was fine with.
And that character, the pro golfer, her ability could use some work because that was rough. It was bugging out for you guys, and you're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
um, Reviews, I guess. Um, I'll go first since it was my game. Um, I was excited to play more of this game now that it's officially out as of November of last year. Squid and I played it, I want to say August, September before it came out, in Next Fest on Steam. We had a lot of fun with it. We wanted to see more of what they added. There was 2 characters that weren't in that demo that we got to play, and I think that was only 1 course as well in the demo. Um, this game's pretty good. It's if you're looking for a mini golf game that's not Golf It or Golf with your friends, and you guys want to try something else, and you don't have a big party, 4 players the max. It's fun. It's worth it. I think. I think the game's what 15. I think 15, 16.
I thought it was something like that.
I think it's under 20, but regardless, even at 20, I think this is a fair buy. If you can find it for 10, 100%, I would give it a shot with your friends, convince some people to buy it. It's fun. Support the developers. I think they really enjoy this product and they want to keep making more of it. My score would be a 7, I think. It's fun. It's a mini golf game. It's not going to be the greatest thing ever for me, but every 6 months, I think we'll pull this out and have a good time with it for an hour or two. What did you think about it, Chase? Since you didn't play it before.
I thought it was pretty good. Like I said at the start, reminded me a lot of Pummel Party plus Golf with Your Friends, having the abilities and everything, and D&D as well. We've been kind of on a D&D kick lately. Seems like a lot of D&D stuff this year. But yeah, overall, very interesting. Like you said, a couple of bugs that really need to be worked out. Maybe some map adjustments with the wall bounces and such. And maybe not getting ourselves trapped in behind obstacles as easily and not being able to get a shot out of them at the very least. I'm going to go, looking at the list, I am going to go with a 6 on this one, 6 out of 10.
So this game is $16.99 full price on Steam, and it is officially out. It's not an early access or anything like that. So I do hope they keep updating it. Anyways, Squid, go ahead.
I liked it. I think the party size of 4 I hadn't thought about before. Usually when we end up playing party games like this, we have more people than that. So that could end up kind of being a problem going forward for our group. I really liked it though. I like little golf games. I had way more fun with this than I've had with, like Golf It or Golf with Your Friends. Um I thought it was more interesting just because of the characters. There is like announcers as well that are kind of funny. I mean, they're annoying after a while, but they're pretty funny.
What do they say, Squid?
They, so they kind of do the video game thing where they don't say words and they're just like wop 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 and and they're very funny in that case, but there's text to it. They say real things, usually about unicorns.
As average as a unicorn fart.
I really liked the game though. I am also going to give it a 7. I want to keep going back to it. I think we're not meant to unlock all the sponsors right off the get-go. I think kind of like with I don't know which one it is, but the one that has hats. How you don't get the hats very frequently. I think this is more rewarding than that because you do seem to get them more frequently than that.
I do like that I'm going to pick the frog 99% of the time, but I'm going to pick different sponsors to try it. So there's a lot more character combos that way instead of just here's your 8, deal with it. I do like that. I feel like what makes or go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
I feel like what makes this game stand out more than other of the mini golf games, like Golf with Your Friends or Golf It, is those are very dependent on your fun level is very dependent on who you're playing with. This one I think is a fun game. Even if we weren't saying much or talking a bunch, like picking on each other, you would just do an ability to fuck over a friend, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I see how it is. Remember when this happened?" That made it more fun, you know.
And also finding out how sus Squid was throughout the entire 2 weeks. I know that she says we just clipped stuff. I know she says we just clipped stuff out of context, but I don't know. I don't know about
I'm
that.
being set up.
I think you set yourself up, to be honest. I think that's more accurate than anything.
She also thought turkey was a golf term for a second.
I mean, there's a lot
It's a
of
bird, so I
it's a
see
bird.
how.
It's a bird.
There's so many birds in golf.
There are 3 birds in golf.
Which 3?
Birdie, which is generic, eagle, and albatross.
Bogey?
Bogey's a bird?
I hope so.
I don't know if it is.
Is bogey a bird? Squid 2K24.
I spelled bogey wrong when it is a bird.
Okay, so there's 4 birds. Is a par a bird too?
What's that Christmas song? Something in a pear tree.
A
Is it
partridge?
Partridge. Is it for partridge?
I don't think so. Probably not. Maybe.
Par bird. Par ooh la la, it says. I think it is. I think it's
Okay,
a
there's
bird.
4 birds. No, there's 4 birds. We're leaving it at that. But yeah, no. Consensus rating for Dungeon Golf is 6.66. Repeating.
That's great.
And yes, I purposefully left it there. Yeah.
The game is fun. I think for a mini golf game, that's pretty high, honestly.
I say average, but expected. I mean, it's a mini
It's
golf
going
game.
up against Baldur's Gate. Like it's
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 never
not
gonna
trying to.
It's going up against Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which got our first ever 10.
Yeah. Like
Never gonna
I
beat
think
that.
it's fun.
It is fun. We had a good time. Just because I give it a 6 doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. It just means it's not comparable to the other games that we have already rated on the scale. That's all it is.
6.66 would have been like top 3 last year.
It would have been pretty close, I think. Yeah.
The characters have different outfits. We didn't bring it up, but you can change their outfits. So if you all want to be the same character, you can. I think the first one we played, we were all the frog, but we were different colored frogs.
Yeah.
It's just different colors for everything, not outfits.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
6.66 would have been. Yeah, it would have been tied for 3rd last year. So
It's just been a really good year for games for us.
part of that is due to the changes that we made. Part of that is we've gotten good games even when we didn't,
Yeah.
make with the games we didn't make changes with. Like Venba. Venba was a Game Pass roll, right?
Mm-hmm. Or no, Squid
No, it
picked
was
that
a
one, I
Squid
think.
roll, but it was a game that was on Game Pass that we had actually talked about last year that potentially we wanted to play, and we got it, and it was a pretty good rating.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dungeon Golf. Is it time for the wheel?
Of?
What?
So on the wheel this week, though, Chase put on Division 2, which I am excited for. A new year of content for Division should start next month at some point, or the end of this month. And then Squid and I both put on another Crab's Treasure, which is a newer game that came out 2 weeks ago, I want to say. I think it was in May even. So it just came out. It's
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna be May. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that's what he
exactly
said.
what I said. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yep.
I hate it here. Somebody help. That just came out. It is something that Squid and I really want to play, and it's something I really want to see Chase play. So we'll see what we get here.
Hang on. It's not spinning. It's fine. It's fine, right? It's a long spin, by the way.
We're
Based
spinning.
on the random number generator.
Oh.
Spin it,
It's
god
gonna
damn
be
it.
Division 2.
Wow.
Go. Let's go. The 33%, baby.
Division 2. I'm not upset at all. Squid is, but I'm not.
Is she gonna do it?
Upset.
Is she gonna do it?
Oh, I could. I have so many things.
You have both.
Oh
of the
no.
things.
What are my things?
Would you like to talk about power ups, Chase? It's been a while.
It's only been a couple of weeks since we used one. We have a veto, which is basically a reroll. We also have the No Me, which is the one that I used a couple of weeks ago to make sure that we played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I think that was the only two that we had 100% said yes to. But those are the two.
For content, if I veto and we get Division 2 again, it's gonna be really funny. So I'm gonna try to veto.
We do get 2 vetoes a year, and it is approaching the second half of the year. So that's going to reset.
For context here, I don't hate Division 2. I just didn't want to play for some reason.
Okay.
I don't believe her. I think she does indeed dislike Division 2 strongly.
Did we say that veto removes too? Is that what we said? Because if that's the case, then it's just...
I don't think it should with 3 of us. I think with 4 of us, we vetoed it so we didn't continuously get Game Pass games.
Okay.
I think it'd be funnier if it stayed on.
All right. I'm gonna screen share for a second because I'm going to re-roll the random number generator to make sure that I change the number of seconds as well. So give me a sec, so that you guys don't know at the time how much it is either. But again, I don't know how long the spin is. I know how long the spin is, but I don't know where the spin is going to go. So here we go, round 2 off the veto.
Go. If it ends up being Division 2 again, I'm just gonna laugh, so it's fine.
It's not.
Chase has something though he could use. And we got like 6 months left.
Veto. Let's try this again.
Let's go.
Round 3. And we do the random
Really
number
running
generator
like the
again.
government up in here.
Okay.
Chase has no power ups right now.
I am out of power ups, yeah.
Until June. Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. I like it.
We had joked when we made these power ups that one episode it's just gonna be all of them. And here it is, guys.
At this point, she still has her No Me, so and you do too. So I mean, if you guys really wanted to, you could just say no. We're doing that. You said you didn't care either way, though, Panda. It's gonna be a squid thing.
Yeah, I really don't. I would like to play Division as well.
All right, here we go.
I was just thinking we could save Division for the new content.
We're gonna find out right now. Third time's the charm.
Thoughts?
Squid? Do it, Squid. Do it, Squid.
No, this is fair. This is fair.
Do it, Squid. You won't.
I'm just saying, statistically,
the odds were in your favor. The odds were in your favor, and you still lost.
Okay.
So just to be totally transparent, the first one was 13 seconds. I did a random number generator between 4 and 15 because we wanted the roll to be kind of a decent time, but not a crazy amount. The first one was 13. The second one was 9, and the last one here was 10. So
play it back, time them.
Can if you want to.
Yeah, no,
can if you really want to.
I believe you.
Whoever edits the video can.
Oh wait, that'd be you.
Guys, you can't third wall break. Actually, look at me in camera. That freaked me out.
Let me look past you, Chase. Hold on.
I don't like it. No.
It's a good thing I looked the right direction.
It's true.
You think after all the time that we've been doing this that it'd be pretty much second nature to know that I need to look this direction to look at Panda and this one to look at Squid. But here we are.
I cheat. I can just actually look at Panda and it's Panda's direction.
Oh, we can fix that if you guys really want
No.
me to.
What was it last time we were going to change it? The continuity. We can't change where we are.
We can always adapt. But yeah, so Division 2, Tom Clancy's Division 2, a game that Panda and I have hundreds of hours in.
Thousands of hours in this franchise between two
between
games,
2
for
and 1.
sure.
Yeah.
Also, we haven't. I think we've talked about it, but I don't know if it's confirmed. But I'm going to say it on stream, so it like is kind of confirmed now. I'm just going to do it. Um, Squid's eyes got real big.
I don't know what we're talking about.
It's just you should. It's the stuff that we've been talking about for a while, like the last few
So,
weeks.
because it's a live service game, we'll play it now, and then there's going to be a DLC coming next year. Um, that'll probably be something, honestly, Chase or myself will know me, and we'll do it again. Um, but that'll be purely like DLC, like what we thought of level 40 to 50, for instance, if that's what they do.
Yeah.
But right now, I think it's going to be Division 2, State of Division 2 today, I think is what we're going to be doing. Chase and I have been end game, like hard end game for 500 hours in game time, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
And Squid has never beat it and will be leveling for the first time post level 20, probably. So she'll be a new player experience, and Chase and I will very much be not new player experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that is episode 29 of Dungeon Golf of 10 Hour. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Fun episode, fun game. $16.99 on Steam. I believe they do plan on console launch. Don't quote me. I believe. But that is published and developed by Ant Workshop, and it launched on November 17th of 2023. So go check it out. I'm guessing it'll be on an X Fest of some sort. We should have one coming up for summer in the next month or two.
You can find the podcast on Twitter, TikTok. Oh wait, no, you can't.
X, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube,
Spotify. You missed Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been releasing a lot of YouTube shorts lately, as well as we released our first episode in video format on our YouTube last Monday. We will be doing that every other Monday. Expect to continue seeing YouTube shorts posted pretty much every other day, as well as both weekend days. Yeah. And check out our website, our10hourhour.podbean.com. You can find me at chaser931_ on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. You can find Panda
at Violent Panda _ on some social medias and Violent Panda on other social medias. I am active on X, TikTok. I'm trying to do Instagram more, but it's not working well. And I think that's it.
Okay.
I think.
And you can find Squid in the ocean.
In the ocean. You can find me on basically all of the social medias as Are You Squid and Me. I'm mainly on Instagram, not posting, but looking at stuff. And I'm starting to post on Twitter more. So, well, X. I'm starting to post on X more. So, hit me up on there. Make me continue actually posting.
As she said a few episodes ago, you can find her on any social media platforms that she knows about.
I keep getting reminded of other ones I know about that I don't have, and I'm forgetting what they are.
Reddit.
I don't know if I got a Reddit or not.
Tumblr, 4chan.
I did get a Tumblr.
She got a Tumblr last episode. She did.
I have not figured out how to use that yet.
It's fine. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here. Panda, take us away.
Okay, I'll pick you guys up and I'll run in the bamboo forest. Let's go. I took you away. Episode 29, Dungeon Golf. Chase took himself away. He's leaving. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Where'd he go? He's gone. Someone stole him.